Today we're going to be interviewing a Dogecoin kid, Lisa from Up Worldwide. And today we have the beautiful Miss from Crypto here tonight with us. Today we have Ken Bozak.
Foundation, Rarible, OpenSea, and Charged Particle.
Speaking from a Gen Z's perspective.
So why do these people buy this
collection? I work with an artist out of...
Wait till you see my other outfit.
One. And we're live. Oh no.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Yummy NFTs. I'm your host, City Girl, and this week we will be featuring a really colorful guest. She will be joining us just momentarily. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are going to be featuring FullMetal Magdalene, and she has some really bright and vivid artwork for you to see. Here she is. Welcome, Magdalene. We were just introducing you
out of the room.
It's okay. Let me just give you a megaphone.
Can you hear?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay.
If you want to just accept the megaphone so that the whole audience can hear you.
Okay. I think I did. Can everybody hear me?
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Perfect. So thank you for joining us here tonight. I have to ask you, so FullMetal, is this a play on the anime series FullMetal Alchemist, or is this something else?
Yes, 100%. I absolutely love anime, and FullMetal Alchemist is one of my favorites.
Awesome. All right. And I believe you met our executive producer, Jerome, back last month at the Shitcoin conference in Miami, correct? Oops. There she goes again. I love Alt Space with a little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully she'll bounce right back. Love to do something funny up here for you, like tell jokes or sing, but I'm not quite that talented, so I apologize for the little bit of a delay.
Yeah, our guest keeps switching out. I think she said her internet was wonky.
Maybe having some internet difficulties. I apologize for this.
Alt space. Yay.
For those of you who are watching the live stream, this periodically happen here in Alt Space, where you will be hosting an event and everything will kind of crash around you. And sometimes it rebounds really quickly and other times it takes a little time. But that is because, technology ever growing brings in a lot more people to the events. And as that happens, the weight of the world kind of causes some glitches. Other times it's simply just technical difficulties from the internet. Technology is great and it can kill you at the same time.
Nice. As some would say, it's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
True. All right, while we wait on her, who do we have up next week?
Next week, we are going to have Stolen Goods on the show. He's doing some incredible things in VR with some pop-up shops and some NFTs.
Where can we find past episodes?
Oh, that's a good question. If you've missed any of our Yummy NFT shows, you can catch them on YouTube channel. If you look at Blockchain Universe, you will be able to see these episodes. We have probably the last 2 to 3 months on there. And in addition to that, there's a bunch of other crypto related stuff on the website. So subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to catch up on all the news. Any other questions from the audience?
And you now having pull-ups? POAPs?
We
for every
are. As
show?
of last week, we started offering POAPs. So at the end of each show, the first 20 people to respond will receive a POAP. We will one up, and you can DM us on our Instagram account, and we will issue POAPs out to the first 20 people. You don't have to have a crypto wallet in order to get the POAP. You can get them on your smartphone. So all you need to have is an email address, and we can send it out to you. And then you can start your own little POAP collection, which could be your intro to NFTs. We actually have someone in our audience right here, Boxman, who is an avid POAP collector, and he has over 100 POAPs of his own.
What are POAPs?
POAPs are proof of attendance protocols. So they're basically like little badges that prove that you went to an event. So it would be similar as if you went to a concert and you received the ticket stub and you kept that in your wallet or like a scrapbook, and it showed that you showed up at a concert on a certain date with the time and event space. And the POAP will tell you what the event was, who was hosting the event, and the date the event took place. However, because it's an NFT, it's encrypted, and no one else can have your POAP. There might be other people out there with similar ones in look, but each one is encrypted in the back so that it is your POAP. Any other questions? We can talk a little bit about NFTs while we're waiting for her to get back. First of all, for those of you who do not know what NFT stands for, it's non-fungible token, and it is basically a piece of artwork, photography, music. These are encrypted on the blockchain, and one is individual. And once you have that, no one else can have it. Kind of like your cryptocurrency, which is encrypted in the blockchain, and it's tracked, and everybody knows who's involved, where it is, and it is strictly yours. So I can take pictures of this piece of artwork and put it up here, but this is not the actual NFT. It's just a screenshot of it. The original one has the encryption in the back of it, and that's what makes it valuable because they're limited in the amount of them that are out there. Do have an update that she keeps getting out because of her connection. So I apologize for not being here right now for this interview, and instead get to be listening to me talk about NFTs. Any other questions? Hey, DJ?
Yeah, can you hear me fine? Question I have.
Let me just give you amplify.
Yeah.
I got him.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is really for you. How do you like running these shows, and what is your experience like? Can you share us that?
Sure. I actually love it very much. This has been a great experience for me. I used to be in the audience with all of you watching this show last year. And then earlier this year, I met up with Jerome down in Miami, and we talked about different things about the show. And he said, I really could use a little bit of help putting the production on, because he's the executive producer. He was hosting it. He was bringing in the guests and everything. So I said, you know what? I've been watching it. I love it. I'd love to be part of it. So I decided to come on and help with the hosting. It's been amazing because I've gotten to meet such incredible people. I've met now, I think I've met 10 artists, and, interviewing them, I love to be able to ask them about what it is that drives them to do their artwork or their photography, whatever it is that their specific NFTs are. We've had on some incredible people. We've had on Uncle Vin from Naughty by Nature and Illtown Sluggers. So we've had celebrities on here. We've had our own alt space celebrities like Artsy, and we had Jay Will from 3VM. And then we've had some amazing people from outside in the NFT world. Tonight we were going to have FullMetal Magdalene, but we've also had Trippy K, who was on a couple weeks ago. And we had Jackie in VR on last week. So we've gotten to see a bunch of different types of NFTs, because we've had people who have done physical artwork like this that you see up here and around on the walls or near you. We've also had, when Trippy K was on, she had a lot of photography. So your NFT isn't strictly stuck on just, graphic art. It can be music. We've talked about in a previous episode that there are a lot of musicians right now who are out there and they are recording different songs and or they're putting up albums onto NFTs, and if you have that particular NFT you can get secret tracks that other people in the public don't have access to. There's also, you know, when we were talking a little bit about the POAPs, there are ticket NFTs and POAPs that can get you special access to like VIP lounges and things like that as well. So there's actually a lot of different things that I've learned just from doing this show that I wasn't really aware of before. I kind of thought, you know, NFT, oh, it's a piece of art and that's it. But I've learned a lot from doing this, from interviewing our guests. And I actually really enjoy seeing all of the audience come out here every week to learn along with me. So that's been great too. It's actually been a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's been good for you guys having me be up here as well.
Now, a couple of comments on what you just said. First, our friend here, Jerome, actually picked one of the best, if not the best person to help. So I'm a huge fan of yours. You know that. We all love you. So fantastic job. And yes, I agree. We've been learning nonstop every week. I show here as really audience, not as just a friend to support or anything. I really love what's going on and love the information and what you're sharing. Learning every week. I've been with, you know, in crypto market since 2010 actually, but right almost at the beginning. So it's still evolving and learning is definitely part of it. Absolutely. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I
Both of
really
you, Jerome
appreciate
and
those
yourself.
comments. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? We are getting word that she is still having some technical difficulties right now. Yeah, DJ?
Yep. One more question. I don't think I'm amplified anymore, but I saw the world is 60 meg. Do you have a surprise for us?
I don't actually. I think it's the graphic content.
Okay.
Oh,
Sometimes,
there's more to the
sometimes in
room.
these worlds,
What's
the
going on
graphics can
behind
really.
us? What's going on behind here?
Oh, well, at the end of the event, at the end of the show, we actually have a world attached to it that you can enter into to teach you about NFTs. And there's also some, you know, crypto information out there as well. Blockchain is not just the Yummy NFT show. We also, Blockchain Universe actually brings Monday nights, we have Crypto Monday, and Tuesday nights, we have Yummy NFTs. During the course of the week, there are also other episodes and events that Blockchain Universe presents. Actually, Jerome, who is our executive producer, he is actually very active in VR, in crypto, in NFT, all of this stuff. We had him on here before as actually a guest interview, which I should do again and bring him up here so that he can talk to all of us. He actually is he's a great teacher. He has actually taught me quite a bit about crypto. And actually, I was not even involved in crypto at all before I met him. And I'd heard a little bit about it, didn't know too much. And, you know, he gave me info to go on. He said, go do your homework. That's what he told me. And I remember messaging him one night and being like, I've just spent the last 4 hours on the internet, down the rabbit holes, learning about crypto, NFTs. And I'm like, I want to buy this. I want to learn how to do this. And he just said, keep going with it. And then earlier this year, about a month and a half ago, I actually became a crypto owner. So he's actually been extremely beneficial to me in education as well as being an amazing friend.
To all of us for sure with this show and yourself. While we're waiting, can I ask you like a little bit more detailed question about NFTs? Say I want to make my first tweet an NFT. What's involved? How do I go about it?
Okay, well,
Is
I
that
personally have not created an NFT yet. However, I do know that you need to do some research on which platform you want to put it onto. A lot of people use OpenSea, and a lot of our guests have told us this. It's probably one of the easiest ones for beginners to start using. So you would need to go on there and you need to go through the process to set it all up and have it uploaded. A lot of people will wait until they have exactly what they want for an NFT before putting it up. I can tell you a little story about creating NFTs that might give you a
please.
little bit of an insight into it.
Yes,
So
yes.
for
Thank
me,
you.
about a month and a half ago, I created my first POAP. I have actually a nonprofit, and I created a POAP for the
she's
big
here.
event that we have coming up next month. And
Or not.
when I created it, was simple. I uploaded everything into it. It told me exactly what to do. It said, bring up your image. It popped it in, no problem. Well,
Okay.
last week we created our very first POAP for Yummy NFTs. And when I created the POAP, I uploaded the image into it. And I realized after it was created and I had gotten the links to send out NFT, it basically came back. I was like, oh no, I forgot the date. So I went back in and tried to recreate it with the date and re-upload it. And they turned around and kicked it back and rejected it and said, no, you can't do this. You can't have the same exact thing with the same artwork. So on POAPs, it's a lot more strict than it is with NFTs. NFTs, a lot of times you will see imagery. Like let's take the ape image up here. You and you colors in it and replicate it over and over and over again and make them all into NFTs. So some NFTs for more versatility and some of them are stricter.
Right.
So it depends on what you're actually creating. But to answer your question as to how go about starting it, you'd want to do a little bit of research to find the platform that is perfect for you. And like I said, OpenSea is probably the easiest one to look at. But definitely do your homework, go on the internet, start doing some research and decide, you also want to think about who's your audience, because if you're going to sell this, pretty much you can sell anything to someone out there in the world. There's probably someone who will get it. But if you want to try and sell it to make money, you have to put something out there that people want. So is it aesthetically pleasing to look at? Is it something that's funny? Is it something you think people will buy? If you're in it because you just want to represent stuff that you're interested in and you just want to put stuff out there, that's fine. But if you're out in it to make money, you want to put out something that people actually will want to buy. You kind of have to look at what your ultimate goal is. Do you want to just put stuff out there that's personally satisfying to yourself, or do you want to put something out there as a business to get people to with you and actually buy those things?
Oh, that's very nice. I feel like I'm interviewing you now. So one more question I have is, after interviewing all these, celebrities and people that are involved, what is your feeling? Like, are they, generally speaking, I'm not trying to speak on any name. Are they in it to make money or spread their the talent or share what they do best with the world? What is it that, because everybody's in it for a different reason, right?
Yes, that's exactly it. Everyone is in it for a different reason. And some people, like we've had some guests on that I've gone on and looked at their OpenSeas, and the cost that they're asking for some of their artwork is minimal. At other people on where the cost of their artwork is astronomical. So it really does depend on what they're looking to do. When we had Uncle Vinrock on here, and their NFT that they did for Illtown Sluggers was actually, if any of you are familiar with the pop, they're the little vinyl dolls. And so they had one made of Slugger Bear, who's their little mascot, and that's what they gave us an NFT of. So, it was promotional. It's something as a give back to their audience so that when they come to the event, you get this give back. People like Trippy K, who was here, she had done photography and some artwork. Her artwork was something that she felt in her soul that she was putting out there onto the canvas and putting it up there for NFTs. So for her, yes, she'd love to make money off of what she's selling, but she's on doing love of what she's doing. And we have Jackie in VR, who was on here, and had she's made some NFTs, but she also had the NFT of the horses that were racing in Zed Run. So she owns that NFT. So some people are buying them as collectible pieces, and some people are creating them to sell. So there's a big world with NFTs. It's not just that one little piece of artwork, you know, and or digital media. There's you could be collecting some of them. You could be very specific, and you might go out there and say, you know what, I just want to say I own an NFT.
Mhm.
It is something that matters to me. I want to do I want to just purchase I love celestial beings. Do I want to go out there and purchase a piece of NFT that is of celestial beings? Just as an update to everyone, we're here today. We were supposed to be interviewing FullMetal Magdalene, but she's been having a little bit of technical difficulties and hasn't been able to enter the room and be able to stay. So we're not sure if it's a Wi-Fi connection on her end, but we're all here, so we think it's okay on this end. But she is trying to pop back in for us, and if we can get her
She's
back here in the
gonna
next
switch
few,
to a hotspot.
okay, if we can get her back in here, then we will we'll continue with her interview.
Mhm.
I see her. She's back there.
Okay, I think she's trying to come in now.
There she is. She's muted.
Use your B button.
Hello?
And teleport.
There you
we
go.
can hear you.
Hi.
Great.
Okay, I can't see any of you in here, but I can hear you.
Okay. Well, we'll try
I'm
to
not sure.
do a blind interview. How's that?
Oh, it's for sure. So sorry. I don't know what's going on, but I did switch connections. Hopefully this is better.
Okay. No problem. We're glad to have you back. So,
Thank you so much.
let's talk about your artistic backstory. When did you first start creating art in general?
Oh shoot. As long as I can remember, honestly. So like I took to it really young, about 3 or 4 years old, just drawing with crayons and stuff, and I've just been doing it ever since.
And when did you migrate into the NFT arena?
So I believe that I minted my first one in 2020. So I was just trying to grow my art career through social media and Instagram since about 2017. And then I was also really into crypto. So when I realized that I could combine the two with NFTs, and it was around the beginning of the COVID lockdowns. So that all kind of came together through sharing my artwork on Twitter and other artists helping me through like kind of find out where the platforms were and kind of walking me through getting started.
Now, your signature artwork for NFTs is really bright and colorful and eye-catching and, well, seductive. So your your line of crypto sluts and hoodlums is very sexy. What was your inspiration for this?
Yeah, so actually the hoodlums is another artist, but that was a collaboration. And then for the crypto sluts, I came up with the term because so I started sharing artwork that was Bitcoin themed because that's my favorite crypto. And so I ended up connecting with a lot of Bitcoin fans on my social medias. And then I branched out and started doing other crypto themed art with other projects. And I'm sure you've heard of the term Bitcoin Maxi. A few of those kind of people were like, hey, like you should really just stick with making Bitcoin artwork. And I thought about it and I was like, I kind of feel more like a crypto slut, kind of like as a joke that I really wanted to play around with all the different projects in the space and also make artwork kind of exploring all their different projects. So that term was just kind of birthed out of that. And then when all the PFP projects were popping off a bit of about a year ago, I wanted to try my hand at it, my own version. And there was like crypto punks, and there was a lot of derivatives off of that that was like kind of crypto fill in the blank. And so I thought crypto sluts kind of fit really well.
Perfect. And when I was looking at your OpenSea collection, so you're on are you on OpenSea exclusively, or are you on other platforms as well?
OpenSea is my most active, but I do have a couple of pieces on Foundation that is the beginnings of a tarot card set. So I have the Magician and the Fool. And then I have a couple on Wearable when I was just trying to play around with it. And I also, my first collection is actually on Blockchain Art Exchange. Those are like my very first minted pieces, I believe.
Now, while we were waiting, we were talking about getting started with creating NFTs, what have you found to be the easiest platform to use out of the ones that you're on?
Oh, definitely OpenSea.
Okay.
Just
that answers your question, DJ.
Just simply because of the lazy minting and the popularity of the platform. Especially getting started, one of the hardest things was needing to have the Ethereum upfront to mint, whereas the lazy minting on OpenSea, it's been a lot easier to get full collections up without having to pay upfront to get them hosted.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So you're talking about lazy minting. What does that exactly mean for who's familiar with minting NFTs?
Oh, gotcha. So the lazy minting simply means that you have the ability to upload the image or the video or whatever it is that you want to create the NFT out of, and you're able to host on the website and show it, but it won't be put onto the blockchain or minted until somebody actually wants to purchase it. And that's the transaction that costs money. So before, when I was just using Blockchain Art Exchange and Rarible, I had to pay just to get it put up. But so they just let you showcase the NFT before minting it on the blockchain.
Like a preview.
Right.
Okay.
And then you have a couple ways.
Familiar, Ethereum's is the main currency for doing NFTs.
Yeah, it definitely is. Although there are some really great cheaper options like Polygon that are also on OpenSea. But then I know Tezos is really great. I have a couple on Tezos as well.
Okay. So on your OpenSea collection, I also saw that there were several people that were several pieces, I'm sorry, that were more of like a 3D look. I think it was Crooks. Is that also yours, or is that someone else's collection that's on that you collaborated with?
So that's just some that I bought from a collection. Crooks is a Las Vegas project as well. So that's just some that I invested in, but I would love to do 3D art, but that's not me.
Okay. So you also have your own collection of pieces that you're collecting from other people as well. You're creating and you're collecting.
Yeah, and I think that it's really helped me kind of discover how to market my own work, being a collector as well. So I got into generatives like Crooks and Crypto Canna Club. And then I also have a couple of one-on-one pieces from different artists, and I hope to buy more. I think that's one of the really fun things is collecting other artists' pieces.
Definitely, especially for those of us who don't create art, we love to collect other people's art. Now you also have a fairly extensive clothing line that spawned from these NFTs, correct? And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So with Crypto Sluts, there's a streetwear brand connected to the characters in the collection. So the IP rights aren't included with the Crypto Sluts, but what the holders do receive is 10% of the net profit of any clothing that's sold featuring your specific NFT. I did do an airdrop for the holders this month that had a new image of all the girls. And then for the spring and summer collection, that new image was featured. And so that one also has 10% net profit back to the holder. So there will be future airdrops featuring people's specific crypto slut that they'll receive, and then those will continue to be featured on the apparel. And then I have a sister collection called Crypto Butts, which is more like rave wear or festival wear. And I've been slowly getting in the samples for those materials and then getting the mock-ups made, but it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get the samples in. So it's kind of coming in waves over the next month or so for the rest of the designs.
Now, of all your NFT work that you've done, have you sold a lot of them at this point?
Kind of just sporadic and here and there. And then when I launched Crypto Sluts back in October, I had done some work with the crypto YouTuber Chico Crypto, and he helped me to get eyes on my project. And so that was kind of like the change where I went into full-time NFTs, because I think one of the hardest things with doing NFTs is marketing and getting your work in front of buyers. So, but after that, I sold out of season 1. I'm about 70% sold out of season 2, and almost completely sold out of the Crypto Genesis. I think there's only 1 left out of 30.
That's amazing. So, one of the things that this people are interested in getting into NFTs is, to stick with it and keep pushing your stuff out there, and eventually you will find someone who's going to hopefully buy your pieces, but just keep following it and pushing it through. Do you have a gallery presence currently here in VR anywhere, or even in real life, or is your artwork strictly on NFT marketplaces?
Right now, it's just strictly on NFT marketplaces. This is my first introduction into like the VR world, really, besides Beat Saber. But so I'm hoping to expand on that. Like, seeing artwork up here is just amazing. So I would definitely love to get a gallery up in the space.
Well, if you're interested in getting a gallery in here, I can connect you with someone who has a one that I think your work would look great in. Now, what is your goal for the future with NFTs and with just everything in general with your artwork? What is your long-term goal?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, for my main focus right now is just crypto sluts and crypto butts, and ultimately, I want to bring it into like do some more IRL stuff. So ultimately, with that, I want to have a store here in Las Vegas. And when that happens, I want to have like a gallery that features other local NFT artists as well. So that's kind of like the main thing that I'm focused on. I want to try and get the store up this year. If not this year, maybe early next year.
Great goal. I want to hear from you next year and find out that this has actually happened. So,
absolutely.
What else can you tell us about, your journey through creating NFTs and getting involved in all of this? Something, my audience who's interested in getting involved in this, helpful hints.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just share kind of what worked for me. A lot of when I just didn't know what to do, like was say with even growing my social media presence before I got into NFTs, when I was just trying to get my artwork out, was I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to make effective posts that will get my things seen. It's just like a lot of trial and error, but don't be afraid to take advantage of the information that people are sharing on YouTube or on social media, because there is a lot of people that want to help you out. So don't be afraid to ask other artists, because like a lot of the times, especially in the beginning, it was other artists that helped me out. And then too, with getting my artwork out there, something that can be helpful is just even reaching out to content creators that you already watch and enjoy. And that's actually how I made my connection with Chico Crypto. Was I reached out and offered to do artwork. So, it's just, you got to be creative because there's no there's no really right or wrong way to do it. I think it's all just, just don't quit, just keep trying.
Very. We have several pieces of your work up around the walls here. And one of the most signature parts of it is that a lot of them on the tongue, there is coin. And is this various pieces of cryptocurrency that you have incorporated into your artwork?
Yeah. So back when I first got into making crypto art, I've always been like obsessed with the Rolling Stones logo. And so I made this first piece was just mouth with the tongue out, and it had, I think, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Monero, and Ethereum on it. And I called it my crypto junkie logo. And so it's just something kind of stuck in my artwork. And it's just kind of all about how crypto just kind of consumes your life once you get into it. I know a lot of people can relate, or NFTs or Web3 in general. Kind of once you open that door and jump in, you definitely kind of go down the rabbit hole.
It's submersive.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have some other beautiful work back there. Tell us a little bit about the owl. That's from one of your other collections?
Yeah, so I have another series that I started called NFT Sluts, and that's one where I wanted to feature other series or artists and collections in the space. That's the movies from that big launch that happened recently. And then I have a Bored Ape Yacht Club slut as well. That'll just be one that I want to add to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was just another one I wanted to add to kind of like exploring the NFT pop culture scene. And that's fun because it pushes me out of my comfort zone of just always drawing girls.
Well, girls look like apes, but we'll let that go. And that piece back there where it says it's always Sunday in Chico, that is from the collaboration you were talking about with Chico?
Yeah, so he's been doing some kind of going out in the street and talking to people locally in Chico where he's at about like whether they would like crypto or cash. And then he had an idea to do one where he's like, I want to see if people would prefer a physical piece of work or an NFT. So I made that piece, and then he printed out like 10 physicals and minted 10 versions of it as NFTs. And then he did a whole episode about going through Chico and asking people which they would prefer and why. And it was pretty cool because 6 out of 10 chose the NFT. Or no, 6 out of 10 chose the physical. So it was almost equal of physical to NFT.
Interesting. I guess that's kind of similar to people who say that they would rather have a physical book rather than reading on a Kindle or on an iPad. You've always got the split.
Right. Totally.
And so do you see in your future a new let's say a new subject line that you are planning to launch on your NFTs?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's kind of hard to imagine what comes after this because I've still got, I think, like 9 more crypto sluts to go. But yeah, I'd love to explore something completely different once I finish these out.
Great. Before we open up the raise hand feature for Q&A from the audience, I'd like to remind you all to please rate the event. You may do so by clicking on the "You Are Here" on your menu. We strive for 5 to keep our event alive, so please rate us with a 5. And Blue is going to turn on the raise hand feature, and you can all see it on your right-hand side. And if you raise the hand, you can ask a question, so please don't be shy. Let's ask Magdalene a few other questions.
We have a question from DJ. Go ahead, DJ.
Yes. Hi, I'm full of questions tonight. First of all, thank you so much for all the information, Magdalene. And I wanted to ask you if someone wants to start with like getting introduced themselves to NFT and create their own NFTs and everything. What are the resources out there like to start with? Like, how can I do my research to make sure that I'm on the right path?
That's a good question. Like just to sorry, let me think. Just to get started and kind of figuring out how to do the technical process of minting.
Yeah, how to
Is that what
start
you mean?
really? Because yeah, absolutely. Like, let's say that I have absolutely zero experience, right? And I do. I have to admit to that. And but I want to. I have some. I like to think I have some artistic talent. So if I want to create some of my own NFTs, how do I go about it? Like, is there any resources out there I can tap into? Just go read on it and.
Yeah, so I personally to learn, I definitely reached out to a lot of people who were already doing it. So that's always a resource, like especially if there's an artist or inspires you, definitely don't be afraid to send a DM because a lot of people are helpful. Like also on OpenSea, they have a pretty good help section that'll show you how to do it. If you're familiar with crypto and using MetaMask, because I feel like that's kind of like the most difficult part of the whole process. But if you are familiar with it and you already have a wallet, uploading to OpenSea is pretty comparable to just uploading to so like your regular social media like Instagram or Twitter. It's just having to sign that, like connect your wallet and sign the signature to Mint. That would be kind of like the only additional step. It might be different.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions from the audience? For those of you who are interested in finding out more about her, her Instagram is FullMetal Magdalene. You can check it out there. And also, if you go on OpenSeas and you search to explore, you can find her on there as well under the same name. There's a lot of stuff on there for you to check out her Instagram content. You should follow her. She's some great pictures will show up in your feed. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, we have another
Okay,
question.
well, we're coming up
from
to the
DJ.
end of the.
No, sorry,
You
there's
do?
another
Okay.
question by DJ. Go ahead, DJ.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Wanted to like a follow-up question. On you mentioned that you have only 4 or 5 more slots left. What does that mean?
Sorry, I think you cut out a little bit. 4 or 5 more. What?
4 or 5 more slots left? You said you were saying that you're creating
Oh.
like so a few more, and then you have only 4 or 5 slots left.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the way that I am doing the collection, it's a limited series of 111 characters that are the crypto sluts, and they represent specific crypto projects, which are the ones that are featured on their tongue. And so I release them in seasons of 10, just because I like to be able to kind of like watch the market girls about projects that are up and coming and kind of relevant at the time. So with season 2, I have 3 left available on the floor, and the other 7 have sold. So that's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Anyone else? A question for Magdalene? Okay, well, we are coming up on the end of the hour here. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. And Magdalene, thank you for sticking with us and getting through the technical difficulties. I really appreciate you getting in here for us to interview you today. Great to see all of your artwork. Just a reminder that next week, again, on Tuesday night, 8:30, we hope to see you all here. Stolen Goods is supposed to be our guest next week. And you can us in your calendar to come back. And also, right after this event, we're going to hop over into the adjoining room. We're going to have a little NFT information for you all to see up on the walls. If you're streaming with us right now, we want to thank you for watching. And for any of you who may have missed part of the episode or any of our future past episodes, I'm sorry, can't miss the future. But if you've missed any of our past episodes, don't forget you can check us out on YouTube under the Blockchain Universe channel. And thank you all for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. We'll get everyone up here on stage to do a little group photo. That would be great.
Right, as the show tradition, everyone hop on stage for a photo.
These are comfy chairs.
Let me turn my bubble off.